My name is Simon Marsh, and I've actually worked at 108 Harley Street since the last millennium, because I joined in 1999, so I've been here nearly 20 years. And over the years, I've increased the amount of work I do here, so I've got quite a few roles now. Probably the main one I do is looking after the Gilmore Groin and Hernia Clinic, which is based here, which does two different things. First of all, we deal mainly with routine hernias, people who get lumps in the groin, and also lumps around their belly button, the umbilical hernias, and they're fairly straightforward things to deal with. And then we also deal with a slightly more complicated condition of Gilmore's groin. Now, this is a thing that athletes get, particularly footballers, where they tear the muscles in their groin and they don't heal. And they try physiotherapy and they try all sorts of things to try and get them healed, and they don't, because they're torn, and they have to have an operation that fixes the muscles back, and we call that a groin reconstruction. And Jerry Gilmore, who founded the practice, worked out what was going on with these people over 35 years ago. And we still see the condition, and we still see people who can't play sport or do the things they like because of the torn groin muscles. And they have a very characteristic set of symptoms and signs, and also findings on MRI scans these days. And with the operation that he's developed, we can put their groin muscles back together and get them back to doing normal things. And I say it tends to be mainly sportsmen, footballers, but we see it in rugby, cricket, all sorts of sports. And that's developed into quite a big part of what we do here as the Gilmore Groin and Hernia Clinic. Now, I also deal with breast cancer patients as well. And that's something that I developed throughout my career, so I'm spending half the time perhaps dealing with ladies and the occasional man who gets breast cancer too. And that involves working with a whole team of people, not just the surgeons, but also the oncologists who deal with things like radiotherapy and chemotherapy, and the radiologists who take the pictures, and the pathologists who look at things down the microscope, and also our specialist nurses all help to make sure that the ladies and the occasional man we see with breast cancer gets absolutely the best treatment for them, because everybody's different. And one of the great things about breast cancer treatment now is how it's individualised. So everybody gets a slightly different treatment depending on them and their cancer. So that's been one of the interesting things that's evolved over the last 20 years. And another role, I do a lot of local anaesthetic surgery. And that's something I've developed myself. We have a day surgery unit here. So people who've got lumps and bumps who need things removing, we can do that with local anaesthetic. And I've developed quite a lot of that over the years, particularly using large volumes of fairly dilute local anaesthetic, which actually means you can remove quite large lumps. And people are awake and they don't feel sick, and it's very easy, and they can go home almost straight away. And that includes chaps who might want vasectomies, for example. I've done thousands of those over the years, and we can do those here as well. Another role I have is I chair the Medical Advisory Committee here. So we have a committee shortened to the MAC, where some of the senior doctors who work here will meet regularly to review the practice, to make sure we're giving everybody the best care, to see if there are any new treatments that we need to consider, and to make sure we're all providing a high quality care. So we sit down and we look at all the service we provide to make sure they're the highest quality, to make sure that the patients get the best treatment.